Hello and welcome to another session of Do Life. What a joy and privilege to be alive. It's always good when we come to these spaces and share deep things, practical things, relevant things that we need to talk about on an everyday basis. I am privileged today to have my oldest daughter, my precious daughter, and the one that gave me the privilege to be called a father, Kissel. She loves the Lord. She's an amazing young woman. Not only that she loves the Lord, but she makes us just feel safe and happy to be parents. And Anna, what a joy to have you today. And I really want us to have a deep conversation. Relax, be yourself, and let's just practically. How does it feel to be the daughter of a very busy father, and also to grow up in the environment that you've grown up in, both ministry, royalty, and other spaces? How does it feel? And I want you to be very frank and honest, because keep in mind, we want the people out there to experience what you experience and hear from your vantage point, the things you go through to be where you are today. So let's talk.
Wow. Oh boy. Well, honestly, I'm honored, number one. And I can say that I'm honored and privileged to be your daughter and to know how to maneuver in the space now at this ripe old age. But it was a challenge. It was a struggle. Especially in my teenage years, like I would say 15 and 16 was probably the roughest. Being in 9th, 10th grade, hormones, attitudes, my friends are able to do certain things that I'm not allowed to do. Sleepovers and hanging out with their friends, and they have different curfews than I have. And, for me, I'm able to hang out with my friends, but it was always, your friends can come to our house, but you're not going to stay anywhere. And I didn't really understand that, but I also realized in hearing stories, like my friends experienced some traumas that I was sheltered and protected from. And for that, I'm also grateful. Some other challenges were, I think I just wanted to do what everybody else was doing. And even the little mistakes that I made were always amplified, right? Because it was like, well, the pastor's daughter doesn't do this, so you can't do this. Or His Majesty's daughter doesn't do this, so you can't do this. Or she's a real princess, so if a princess does this, this is how you're supposed to act. So every little thing that I did was under scrutiny, from the way I dressed, the tattoos or piercings or hair color or jeans are too tight or anything. And I'm like, I just want to be a teenager. I just want to be a girl. I want to live my life, unapologetically. So identity was a thing. It wasn't the easiest thing, but I think as I got older and as I matured and as I sought counsel, like from you and then also other leaders in the church, I understood that, with sacrifice, there comes reward. And so I understand that I always knew that there was always a calling over my life, and there's a specific mantle that I carry, a legacy that I carry as well. And so I have to be, like, all of this was necessary for a specific reason. So, I'm honored, but it wasn't the easiest journey at all.
Well, I know, it was rough on you. Just as you said, it is not easy to have very public parents. And it's not easy to actually enjoy some of the privileges that your friends were enjoying. because somehow you're in a different category and people look at you a little differently. And I know people judge you also. Hey, this is your father, all kinds of things. But the good news, now is that I believe you've seen how all this has paid off. And also, I felt as a father, it was my duty to not only provide for my family, but to protect my family from all corners. So to see the way the Lord has molded you and also allow yourself to be where you are today. Without saying, you've had your share of some mistakes here, which is normal. You've learned some few things, and I've even appreciated the way you manage your personal challenges. The pressures, peer pressures, and all of these things, and how you've come on top. And I'm grateful that all of these prepares you for the woman that God wants you to be. I know that from time to time, as a PK, people not only look at your parents to measure you, they also try to put you in boxes. So how do you feel when people try to put you in boxes?
I would say, of course, initially resistant, but then I look at you and mommy, Lady Martha, and I would say that neither of you have ever been the people to be put in a box yourself. So it's been difficult to put me in a box. And I think that's kind of been the resistance that I felt like my whole life is like, well, why would someone try to put me in a box or box me in? And I don't have an example of a boxed in person in a parent or, I don't see that example anywhere really. It's always, I've always built up like a resistance, like I'm not going to be that way. Plus I'm also a mixture of two completely different cultures. So I can't be categorized as like any one thing. I just embrace like diversity all in all, I think. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, you've brought us much laughter. You brought us much joy. And as you know, as a family, after church, we all, eat together. That is when we have our bonding time and we laugh and all of that. During the rest of the week, as we eat together as a family, which is something that I learned from my parents. That a family that eats together, prays together, stay together. So as we come together, the examples that I learned is what we practice at home, where we will laugh, talk about everything and anything that we can talk about so that we strengthen the bond that we shared as a family. Now that you have grown, you matured, and you live on your own, and yet connected to church and also involved with God and in ministry. Now, the way you relate to your brother, the way you relate to your sister, the Marys, and the way you relate to your extended family is just beautiful. But how do you feel now? How do you feel now? With all that God has done for you, all that you've been through, living on your own, what can you say is the things you've learned that can be of benefit to someone who is a PK and maybe struggling with identity, trying to know where to fit, feel, the pressure, yeah.
I would say I feel blessed because I've stayed grounded. Although my parents are very important people, always in the spotlight, I've learned how to share them, not only with like our people here, stateside, like in the States, but I'm sharing, and I've been sharing my dad with people around the world my entire life. And I've had moments in my life where I've kind of, I wouldn't say been jealous, but I've been like, that's my dad. Or there's people that's like, oh, that's my dad, or that's my spiritual dad. Or I'm like, no, that's my dad, But I've learned to find comfort in having a big tribe, so to say, a big village. It does take a village to raise a child. And I love like a sense of community. I love our slogan, doing life, because I'm literally doing life with, you mentioned my brother, Pastor Delon. Like, I love him so much, but his mom, Bishop B, is also like a mom to me too. So in the absence of my parents, whenever they're traveling, well, anyway, I know that no matter what, wherever you are, you'll stop whatever it is to pick up my FaceTime or my video, my text messages. So I know that family at the end of the day is like the core. So I'm grateful for that. And then I also know that I have aunties and uncles and other moms that I can also call to pray with me, to check up on me, to have a meal, to break bread. And those special moments, the breaking of bread and these conversations over dinner and things like that, those are the times that mean the most to me, because those are the times that we get to dissect messages that we've heard during the week, or just different challenges that we have in our lives, in our personal lives. So my word of encouragement to PKs going through a difficult time is to find your people, find your village, identify the iron that's going to sharpen your iron, to make you sharper, to make you stronger, to keep you grounded, and communicate with them. It's sometimes difficult to be vulnerable, especially like in this time, post-pandemic and all these things. Like, people are guarded, walls are up, and communication is just kind of like one of those things where it's just like, ugh, I have to get on a Zoom, or I have to get on a FaceTime, or I need to text somebody back, and it kind of feels like a chore. But that vulnerability is necessary to break down those barriers and build strength in your communities and in your relationships. So identify those people and build those relationships, and you'll get through it.
Wow. So what are some things you've learned from me as your dad that has helped you to be the woman you are today?
The first thing is faith. I haven't mastered it yet, because I feel like the amount of faith, or the type of faith that you have, or that you've exemplified throughout my life, is like a radical type of faith. And I think I've lived a privileged type of life where I've never had to fully depend on God for like, where's my next meal coming from? How am I going to pay this? Am I going to wake up tomorrow? Like, all of these things are kind of things that me, and as a millennial born in America, I take for granted sometimes. I know, like, my parents are never going to let me be homeless. Not only am I going to have clothes on my back, but they're going to look nice. Like, it's just things that you kind of take for granted. So I haven't had to necessarily I've had faith, but not like the level of faith. It was just like,
the faith that you don't worry about anything.
I don't really worry. Like,
what are you going to eat? What are you going to have? Your car,
I know
meals,
it's going to happen. Yeah.
Everything will happen.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like I had a dream. I won't call it a dream or epiphany.
Okay.
I mean that, a very amazing man just came out of nowhere.
Oh.
And more or less proposed to you. And the good news was that he proposed to you that I would no longer have to spend a dime on you. So I'm so happy. So now you have to have the faith, because look, man, the man that is coming, listen. There's a good man, young man out there. You've been looking for a wife. You've been praying so hard for a good wife, beautiful wife, anointed wife, prayerful wife. Well, she's right here. And the epiphany was that I would no longer have to spend a dime. He will marry her and take her on, and all the bills will be taken care of by him. So if you're the man, please show up. Make your application. Care is Royal Majesty. And just let it come on. I'll read it over, and I promise you that will be done. So,
wow.
So you, in your mind, so you're happy to say this, that I'm paying the bills for you.
No. That's not what I said.
No, it's not bad if you say that, but somebody's coming to relieve me of this responsibilities.
Amen. I agree with you. Let's touch and agree on
Amen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But you know something? One amazing thing is that Anna makes us laugh.
Oh, God.
She likes to laugh, and she enjoys making people laugh. And I think this is what we have developed in our home. And Anna, I just want to say that this is a part of you that is very amazing. Now, as a PK, I mean, being a princess, I mean, traveling the world over, learning the things you've learned, but your love for Jesus, I mean, your understanding of the church and what you know God has called you to do to have an impact in the body of Christ and also in His kingdom is something that is amazing. And as your father, I'm privileged to know you, and I'm grateful to have you in our lives. Anna Kissel, you are an amazing woman.
Thank you.
And just to watch you come into yourself, into the womanhood that you've been, and not only mommy contributing to your life, but the people you've also identified in the body of Christ that has also contributed to your life is what makes things beautiful. So keep doing what you do.
Thank you, Dad.
And let's keep doing life.
Thank you, Dad.
I love you, sweetheart.
I love you too.
You're the best.
You're the best.
Well, that's my beloved daughter, Anna Kissel. It's a joy to actually have you share with us in this session, Do Life, and to hear Anna's experience. But there's so much Anna will be sharing with time. And I also want to take this moment to encourage you to subscribe if you've not subscribed, and also to follow regularly, and also share with us in your giving. It will be a privilege to have you as a partner, affiliate, a member, or associate. And at this junction, follow the directions that is on the screen and actually do support Life International and give generously and freely wherever you are in the world. And remember, your giving touches lives. And God bless you. We love you and we're grateful to do life with you.
Hey Life International family. Thanks for watching another Do Life session powered by King Adamtey. We hope that you were blessed by today's discussion and have learned some key principles that you can apply to your everyday life. Join us next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our next Do Life session. You can join us by visiting our YouTube channel, We're Life International RTP, and if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss a session. If you're in the Research Triangle Park or the surrounding area, we would love for you to join us on Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our worship service. We're located at 5310 South Austin Avenue, Durham, North Carolina, 27713. If you're not able to join us in person, don't worry. You can join us via live stream by visiting lifeinternational.us/DOLifeTV. If you were blessed by today's message, we encourage you to give. Your giving is how we can continue to bring you messages like this on a weekly basis. You can give via text using your mobile device by texting your donation amount to 84321. You can also give online by visiting us at lifeinternational.us/give. Or you can give by scanning the QR code with your mobile device's camera. Thank you for supporting our ministry through giving. We look forward to doing life with you. Have a blessed week. We'll see you next time. Bye.